Today, we are leaving Colorado and headed to Albuquerque, New Mexico for the Balloon Fiesta. But first, we're making a quick pit stop at the Great Dunes National Park. Guess I should get in the truck so we can go to the park. You ready? Been up since 5 a.m. drinking some coffee, getting ourselves ready for the Balloon Fiesta, day one. It starts early. As you saw, the drone show kicked off at like 5:45 and we're about to go catch the shuttle. So we don't know how long we're gonna be out and about. This is our first time attending the Fiesta. So we're gonna pack a backpack, some water, some coffee, maybe some snacks, and go see what we can see. Good morning. Good morning. Waiting for the balloons. Play ball! We are getting so lucky, the winds have died down, and the balloons are going up. It was delayed about half hour.
Yeah, about a half hour.
And the sun's coming up and the balloons are going up too.
Sat here, we got perfect seats to watch them fly over our head, but we didn't see any go for a while, and there's a bunch that are ready to go, but none of them took off, and now we're starting to see them slowly deflate. So don't know what's going on. This is a new experience for us.
Woo.
Yeah, see.
But are you happy with what you've seen so
Oh,
far?
of course. So we were talking to a vendor when we got here because they delayed it due to wind, and we're like, hey, what do you think? Is it going to go off? And the vendor said there's a small chance that it will. So he was not very confident. he said the wind should be below 10-mile-an-hour gusts, because otherwise it's crazy when they land. It's like the baskets bump and then they fall over. It's dangerous. But luckily they all took off, so I'm happy with what we saw.
We had the most fun at the Balloon Fiesta yesterday, but boy did we need sleep. Between all the activities, the early morning, the late night, the heat, we were tired, so we slept in. But it's a good thing we did, because now our view this morning is pretty freaking cool. Check this out. First there's Mike raising the flag. Look at the balloons. This is so cool. Yeah, too. Unicorn coming in hot. Look at that! Oh my gosh! We are currently in between Balloon Fiesta activities. So they do the morning session with all of those fun things, and then they do the evening session like you saw yesterday. And so in between there's just really nothing going on, but thankfully we're with the Escapers RV group and they're providing some entertainment. The very talented Arlo is putting on a show for us, so we are headed there and we're roasting. It's like 85 degrees, no wind. But it could be worse.
88.
Yeah, high of 88. Whew. We're happy to be here. It's Monday morning and we're supposed to be starting our work day, but we've got hot air balloons launching all around us. Look. How's the work day so far?
Distracting. Boom.
What you got going on there?
This is our sunshade, the hillbilly version.
Very sophisticated.
So they make really fancy things that like connect to your awning that people have told us about. But they probably cost a lot of money and this just gets the job done, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to set up.
I think it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Look at all that shade. Great job.
Thanks.
Here we go. Went inside to grab my coffee and all of a sudden we got balloons all around us. I think we're gonna get one last amazing show before we leave today. They're coming right in our direction.
That State Farm balloon just like dropped a ribbon right by those people by those yellow poles. So it must be a competition to see who can get their ribbon closest to the target.
Huh. And we got a front row seat.
That's cool, it came right down.
Oh, yep, he's winding it up. There it is.
Okay.
I don't know where the X is, so I can't tell you if that was a good throw.
I think it's close to where those yellow poles are.
Okay. It's our last day in Albuquerque at the Balloon Fiesta, and I'm pretty bummed. It's been a really, really fun time and just so unique. So I thought that I would share a couple things that we found really helpful or that we wish we would have known to hopefully help plan your trip to the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. Let's start with the cost. So we came with the Escapers RV group and they coordinated everything for us. So we just bought our ticket through them and they told us where to go and gave us all the information that we needed. So we paid $390 total. So what is that, $78 a night because we stayed 5 nights. We got here on Friday and we'll leave tomorrow on Wednesday. And basically what that got us is a really, really great spot in the RV park here. We're on the outside of the box, as you've seen, so that's a potential landing site for the hot air balloons. The Escapers are all parked together. The sites that we're in are no hookups. It is fairly unlevel, so bring as many leveling blocks as you have. If you're coming with friends, you could probably borrow some if needed, but we got an incredibly unlevel site. But we boondock a lot, so we were prepared and we know what we're doing, but keep that in mind. I was gonna vlog, but somebody's getting their RV pumped. Like you just saw, there are pump out services and water fill ups for $40 per service. That's pretty steep. So we came in with empty tanks and full water tanks and we got by just fine. However, if you're not used to dispersed camping or dry camping, you might need those services. And if you're willing to pay for it, well, good for you. That's an option available for you. Some people, we've met a few folks that are staying the whole 9 days of the Balloon Fiesta. A lot of people who are used to boondocking can probably make it those 9 days. We've gone, our max is 10, so we know that we could make it, but others can't. So it's really nice that those services are available if you need them. One thing that surprised me, and the only reason that it surprised me, is because I just wasn't aware of it before we got here, but I was under the assumption that our RV spot included the entrance to the Balloon Fiesta, to the grounds. It does not. The $390 that we paid for the 5 nights is only for RVing. It is $15 per session to attend the Balloon Fiesta. Each session includes the morning session or the evening session, and each of those is $15. If you leave, you cannot come back in. You'd have to pay another $15, and I was just surprised by that. So it's not that expensive, but I just didn't know, so now you know. Another really great thing about staying at the RV park on the grounds of the Balloon Fiesta is that they include a shuttle. So the distance between the RV park that we're staying at and the Balloon Fiesta grounds is probably about a mile, mile and a half. So we walked one evening and it took us about 30 minutes. And it's all on sidewalk, so it was a really safe walk, no big deal. Otherwise, this shuttle is constantly going. It's a school bus, and we never waited more than 5 minutes in the morning and then one of the evenings that we went. So really great option. There is also bicycle parking. So we've seen lots of people riding their bicycles or your e-bikes. Otherwise, there is also paid parking that you can park fairly close to the grounds and then walk to the grounds from there. Hot tip on what you can and cannot bring into the Balloon Fiesta grounds. You can bring 1 bag per person. It does not need to be clear. There were no size limitations when we attended. So we brought a backpack and we put a folding blanket and a little fold-up blanket in there, and we just sat on that. But you can also bring chairs, and you can bring food and water. So highly recommend bringing snacks, because the food there's really expensive. I've heard the food is really good, but if you want to save a little bit of money, you can pack your own food. And it's a lot of just kind of hanging out, and we got really lucky that everything was pretty like back to back as far as the events go, but there's a lot of waiting if the weather isn't ideal. So if you're like me, you're gonna want to snack and hang out and just chill. Let me just turn that off so that you can hear me. The next thing that I would mention is that you need to be prepared for any kind of weather here. It's probably been really dark in here this whole time I've been vlogging, because the sun is still up and this is the hottest part of the day. So I imagine I'm a little glistening right now, a little sparkly. It has been so hot this week, and I think I would rather have it that way than most of the time at the Balloon Fiesta when it's pretty dang cold. Our friends who attended a few years ago said that it snowed while they were here, and other YouTubers that we've watched, they've said that it was rainy and cloudy and just not ideal conditions. Because if you didn't know, I mean, it is a small window that these hot air balloon folks get to go up. I mean, the winds have to be less than 10 miles an hour. They have to be going in the perfect directions. There's just so many factors to consider. So we are considering ourselves incredibly lucky in the time that we've been here, because the balloons have gone up every day. The winds have been fairly light in the times that the balloons go up in the air. So we will take the heat because we know what it could be like otherwise. So we have been playing the pull all the shades down in the afternoon game. So the sun is just getting to the angle where I can kind of open them back up again, but the way that we're parked, the sun is just beating on us from our passenger side. So we've got the awning. Mike fashioned this really fancy tarp. We keep the windows open at all times, and we just played the fan game too. You know, we've got fans pointing out to try to push the hot air out. We've got our bathroom fan blowing out, trying to suck all the hot air out. And then the second the sun goes down, we open all the blinds back up, we put the fan in the window to suck the cool air in, and then we do the same with our bathroom fan. We turn it on high, pulling the air in, because it's just so hot in here. We got to get that hot air out. So moral of that story is to be prepared for any weather. I also knew that it was going to be 80 degrees this week. I think the highest day that we had was 88 degrees, and then the lows are in the low 50s, which is perfecto. But I knew that that was going to be the temps this week, so I planned all of our meals to be grilling meals. I have not turned the propane stove or the oven on once this week. It's all been grilling meals. One more thing that I'll mention, it's not really a huge deal, but I think it's helpful to know before you come here. There are these terrible little prickers, stickers. We've seen them in like South Padre. We've seen them basically like in the Texas deserty areas. But they're these awful little prickers. They get stuck in your shoes. They get stuck to your poor little puppy dog's paws. So if you can have your pup wear those little booties, that would be helpful. Ah, see?